Hello! Let's talk Walksnail today. Walksnail is my preferred digital FPV platform. I didn't like DJI. I am kind of like an open IPC, but they're still working on it. I got the original Walksnail goggles. They were very expensive. If you wanted to buy the Goggles X, right now they're about $459 from Caddx. But there is a cheaper option, which is what I'm looking at today. This is the Avatar Goggles L. It's a kind of box goggle. It's Walksnail compatible and it costs $200. But there's one problem. My glasses. What you can do in these and the Goggles X, you can twist these and they will effectively act as a sort of short-sightedness lens. So I think it goes sort of from 0 or plus something to like -6 in terms of what we describe, I think, in the UK and America. And so I get a good vision through those. I don't have to wear my glasses. These haven't got twiddly sticks. So if you're a glasses wearer, what do you do? Well, good news is Walksnail, for another $30, will make you a pair of lens inserts. These have been specially made for me. Look, even says my name on it. And it's got my prescription, and you can do both the normal sort of minus plus, so like, I think that's called the spherical. You can do the cylinder and axis, which is if you've got any sort of astigmatism, that's what that thing's about. So I've got one eye with an astigmatism, the other eye straight, and they have made these. They also take into account the interpupillary distance. That's all part of this makeup, and they made these for me. So I am going to get these installed in this. This isn't a particularly new thing. I'm sure you've seen reviews on it before. This is coming in from my point of view as a glasses wearer with the new inserts to see how it all works. So I'm going to open this up like it's just a regular product because I've never looked in here before, so I'm interested in knowing what's in there. So let's go to close up and find out what's going on. Okay, let's do a quick unboxing to see what we get, because they are not new, but new to me at least. And we're straight in with the base goggles. A few interesting things about these. The antennas are internal and apparently directional, so not expecting a great deal of range behind, but decent in front. We've then got the sort of 8-way joystick and the press, the return, and that one's got a play icon. I don't know if that's for DVR or something else. And that little hole is for binding to your quad or VTX. These do have their own DVR, and the slot for the SD card is just under the rubber. I've seen it quite well. It's apparently a 1080p screen. It's not a huge screen in there, and I think that's why they're reasonably small. They're not that much bigger than regular goggles. Also in this we have power cable, XT60. This takes up to 6S. Handy bag for keeping them safe. Cloth. Then a quick start guide. Oh, and it just says here that little play button is the record button. Looking around on this, this is the power input. This is a 3.5mm jack input. I think this is for putting out the head tracking. This has got a 9-axis tracker. I can't quite figure what the axis above 6 go to, but there you go. So you can plug in here and you can get your radio to head track basically by doing all this stuff, which I think is something that my original goggles don't do, so that's a one-up on that one. But that's it, not too much to that. So we're getting now to the customized lenses and see how that works. So for the lenses we get a piece of packaging, another cloth, keep them nice and tidy, and down here we have some little screws, a screwdriver, and the lenses themselves, which I think answers, oh wow, you can see what my lenses do, answers my question about how they're mounted. We've got, if you can see in here, these 2 little holes, and on the top of that 2 little holes, and thus we're going to screw those in like so, which I'm going to do now. I was just wondering, how do I know which is left and right? It's pretty obvious because these are sunk, these holes, to take the head of the screw, and you've got the lens kind of sticking out that side, so it's this side is the front. So here you can see them installed, and I took the foam off just to give myself a little bit more room. Turns out there were 2 different types of screws for those ones. First I tried these tiny ones, which just didn't do anything, and they're slightly thicker ones. I can only presume there were several versions of these goggles, and some have slightly bigger holes than other ones. Also, quite hard to get in, not get any fingerprints on it, so we've had a lot of cleaning of the lenses, the goggles lenses and my replacement lenses. But yeah, that's pretty easy, and I just figured if I want to film through this, you guys won't be able to see, but it's like 2 turns of a screw and it's out again, so it's no big deal. So is there anything to know about what these do versus the regular Walksnail goggles? Well, these won't do the high frame mode. On both of the other Walksnail goggles, you've got the option of 100 frames per second. This just does up to 60. And I don't think it does the high data rate, so it's kind of the 50 megabits per second idea. I'll check that when I get into the menus and stuff. Also, this doesn't have any HDMI out, or in the case of my goggles, it's a USB-C to HDMI out. Not that I could get it working very often. But one extra thing it does have, as I said, is it's got that head tracking ability. One thing this one does do is has this bright light on the screen when you're powered on. Now you won't be able to see that looking through my prescription, but I've just tried them on. The only bit I'm not liking is this bit here, which is a bit hard on the nose. The face foam is nice, there's no nose support, but everything looks clear and good. I can see the head tracking menu in there, but I need to obviously connect it up to a quad to see how that's going to go, put an SD card in, see what we get there. So I guess that'll be the next thing to do.
Well, hello from the woods, and it's kind of changed. It's not what I expected. I think the forestry's been around, because if you look at there's loads of new shoots, but just behind me and around in front, it looks like a load's been cleared. I expected it to be quite, well, grown pleased by now, and it's actually less tree about than winter, but well, there you go. Anyway, we have finally got the Walksnail goggles air out to try. I'm powering this with, of course, my little Go film, which has the Moonlight kit on it, and the little Radio Master pocket, because it's great to travel light on with a little 22-litre backpack and everything fits inside, including this camera. So, haven't flown for quite a while. Hope for the best, see if I can remember what to do. Start off slow and see if we can pick it up at all. Still quite dense in some bits over there, but down there seems good. So yeah, we'll try it. Okay, we have a picture. We have, yep, the radio's connected. Okay, armed, both recording, air mode on. Well, let's go this way since we're facing this way. It is a nice picture, I have to say. The surprising thing about box goggles is they're often a much nicer picture than regular goggles because they're just one big screen, which this is. Just the problem is with box goggles, they're a bit, oh dear. Well, that's a bit of a pain because I bent a prop here, and these props are a pain in the ass to change because they're so tight. So I'm just going to go with, let's bend it back and see if it's okay. Oh shit, that one's bent as well. Bent 2 props, and air mode. Try again. Just trying to find the path. That's the tricky thing. It is down here, and it is pretty easy to find once you know where it is. But everything, contrast-wise, looks incredibly similar. Going this way is pretty good, but that way was a bit nasty. So the goggles are great, performance-wise, but I can't feel it on my nose. Let's put it that way. Right, let's see if I can remember how to fly through trees at all. A little bit rusty, as you probably saw. This camera angle's quite up as well, so it's not taking any prisoners there. Can't remember where I was. I've actually lost my position here. It sounds like it's behind me. It's gone over to the right. Oh, this is dodgy. I've no idea where it is. Is the noise getting louder or quieter? Quieter. So front me over to the right. Is that me? There I am! Completely lost. Absolutely and utterly lost there. So, yeah, it all looks exactly the same now. Beforehand there was just this nice little trail down the middle here, and you could kind of follow that. In fact, I've got lost on it again. That's not the right way. Using the wrong bit. Ooh, I don't know if I'm so out of practice or I'm just getting it so wrong because of how the trees are, and there's now no landmarks. Everything looks the same. Very handily. Well, we're now 14.6. Right, I'm there. Check. Goes down here. And it should kind of dogleg a little bit round. Nah, I cannot see a thing pathwise. And there's no fault of the goggles. This is weird. Very weird. I'm just going to go very locally around this bit so I know what I'm doing. 14.5. I've got lost again. Where am I? Is that me? There I am, right. Let's see if we can't actually put this thing in for a landing somehow. Right, now where Acro is. There we are. Alright, so the verdict so far is picture on this is good. It kind of is doing the nose thing still. I haven't quite got the comfy spot there. And there's this little line down the centre which kind of can just reflect slightly, so you'll see another line. But everything looked really sharp, but it was just hard to see where we're going here. I'm going to go to the different area of the woods, see if it's any better. So I've just literally left the woods and I'm on the gravel path, and I thought I'll fly here because I could go behind myself then. And if you're wondering why I keep showing the OSD footage, it's because this is of course what is recorded by the DVR, and I wanted to show you what that looked like, and then you can have a look at the signal strength because I can go behind myself, I can go above myself, and we can see if it drops off. Obviously the Moonlight can record in 4K and does, and you can put it through Gyroflow and it works really well. I'll show you a clip from that in just a minute because, as you may have expected if you just watched the previous clip, things don't necessarily go as planned. So I went up here and I thought this is cool, I'll dive along down here and down the path, and then this happened and I don't really understand why. Now if you want to know what that looks like in lovely stabilised 4K, it looks like this. Half the reason I used this quad was for the Moonlight, because anywhere I fly I can just stick it into Gyroflow and the results are really, really good. Normally I don't get fantastic results with Gyroflow, I hate having to mess around with it. This stuff you put in and it's just brilliant. But obviously this has nothing to do with the goggles, hence why I just wanted to show the DVR, but I thought I'd just show this bit for completeness anyway. So what happened to the quad? Well, that crash was about as bad as it gets. We've got a motor here which has come completely out somehow. The windings come off one of those and it's desoldered from that bit. But I think the worst possible one is here. We've smashed the ND filter and I think it's scraped on the actual camera lens itself, which could be bad, let's face it. Yeah, unfortunately that has scraped the lens bad. I'm not sure if the motor's salvageable either. Well, originally I thought to myself, what an idiot, you can't fly anymore. But when I had a look at the footage and had a look at the damage, I realised what has happened is the motor's come off before the crash. I didn't think there was anything to hit there, and I'm pretty sure of it now. When I looked at the motor, it had no screws in. And when I had a look at one of the other motors, it had a single screw in. I think this just managed to unscrew itself, and the motor came out, and then that hit the prop, and that ripped out the motor winding. So I need to, well, I've ordered a new motor, a new ND filter and a new lens for it so I can get this back in the land of the living. So having broke my favourite quad, I decided to get my little Whoop, also with Walksnail in it,
and fly it around the house, which I thought was pretty useful because there's areas where it's going through several brick walls, and if this is, you know, a pretty good picture, then things should be alright. Again, I can just see how rusty I am, bouncing off the floor and stuff like that. I just need to get on the stick and do a bit of stuff. This is the worst area. We get a signal of 0, but the bit rate drops, but the latency doesn't jump, so it's actually pretty good. The reason I was worried about this is all the antennas are in the front of this particular set of goggles, so they're quite directional, and the fact I can fly all around myself, albeit not far, but you know, through obstacles, says that it's doing a pretty damn good job of actually being able to get my signal back. And yeah, I didn't do many batteries doing this because it was like, oh man, am I rusty at flying. I'm looking forward to going to the field, getting a few decent days where I can just take a whole bunch of quads there, fly lots of batteries, crash lots of batteries, and carry on that way. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. I had absolutely no problems flying it around. All good. Well, these are pretty good, certainly in terms of the picture you get and the fact I was able to put in these customized lenses. Very impressed with that. As mentioned, under certain circumstances, because it's got this split where you've got these sort of two mirrors or lenses or something, occasionally that will just see this faint line in the image. It's not a biggie, you have to really concentrate it's there, but you can see it. My one bugbear with this is this bit. It hits me on the nose. Now I've tried, if I tighten them up, then they hold on the face a bit better, but they still get my nose. My nose is pretty big, so I'm told. I thought it was a little small cute nose beforehand, but no, I'm told it's quite a big snoz. So perhaps if you've got a small nose you'll be okay, but what I think I need to do is get some of this material like this and put it around there. Why Walksnail didn't do this, just, you know, complete it, I don't know. It seems like a really obvious thing to do. That would be a much nicer thing, because as it stands, this is one of the cheapest ways to get into HD. These cost $200 or £200. I don't know how the exchange rate got like that. To put that into perspective, the Goggles X are more than twice the price, even if you add on the $30 extra for the prescription lens thing. Even their VRX you get to put on your existing goggles cost over that. It's $219 at the moment, so that is expensive. Could it be better? Yeah, I mean, well, they could fix the nose feed, they could put HDMI in. How cool will that be? Lots of people basically complained when I looked at the OpenIPC VRX that I wasn't including the price of the goggles in that, and it wasn't cheap at all. It's like, well, yeah, you have to have something to watch it through. Having HDMI in here would mean you could do a lot with it. That's not what it comes with. So at the moment, albeit it's only Walksnail, this is one of the cheapest ways you can get and fly HD goggles wise. And I like the Walksnail stuff, it's pretty impressive. I really like the Moonlight camera. Hopefully I'll get mine fixed and be able to sort it again. I should also give a quick shout out to the man who's walking two dogs. He spotted my quad on the last crash as I was over the wrong side of the thing for it. He also said he'd give me a sub, so I hope you did. Thanks anyway. So yeah, so if you want to get into HD via Walksnail and you haven't got an existing pair of goggles to like put a VRX on, then these are quite a worthy buy. Just make sure your nose isn't big as mine, or you can put something in there that will help. And the good news is, if you're a glasses wearer, you can just pay an extra $30 and get them made up to your prescription, and then they work really, really nicely. Hope that review's been helpful. I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.
Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.